What is going on, guys? Digital Gamer here, and in today's episode of Smite 101, I'm going to be going over how to jungle. Now, this is going to be a two-part series, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the respawn times and which gods you should be playing as jungle. In next week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the jungle routes and which lanes you should be helping out first before others, and what you should be doing late game as a jungler. So, before we talk about respawn times and all that information about the jungle, let's talk about which gods you should be playing in the jungle. Really, you should be playing only assassin types in the jungle. You can play warrior types, but it depends on your skill. If you're able to do it, good for you. You're able to play a warrior in jungle. I give you props for that because personally, I'm not able to do this. I've tried Nemesis in jungle, and it was alright, but I didn't really do too well. But I personally like to choose Bakasura. I choose Bakasura because he has good attack speed and good damage. This can help because his 3 gives you a boost in attack speed, which helps clearing minion camps. So, what are you going to want to choose? Choose someone with a good attack speed and lifesteal. Personally, any one of the assassins can be in the jungle. They're the best in jungle because they're also the best at ganking. Loki's stealth adds great gank material. You can just stealth into lane, pop up behind the enemy, and quickly secure a kill for your lane partner or the people in the lane. So, before we talk about the buffs, let's talk about the different camps. Now, there's Fury camps, middle Fury camps, then they have the 3 buffs: Speed buff camp, Damage buff camp, and Mana buff camp. In Conquest, you also have Gold Fury and Fire Giant, and then in Siege, you have the Juggernaut. Now, when playing jungle, you're generally going to want to farm the Furies and the middle Furies. This is your main source of gold and experience as a jungler. The respawn times on the Furies are 100 seconds. There's 4 camps on each corner of the map. As middle Furies, there's 2 camps around the middle of the map. The respawn times on this is 180 seconds. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the different buffs, what they do, and what's the respawn times on these buffs. Now, on all the buffs, they have the same respawn time, 240 seconds. Let's talk about speed buff first. Speed buff gives you 20% movement speed and 10% attack speed. There are 2 camps in each map, and they're located to the left of each side. The second buff is the damage buff. Now, this gives you 20% magical and physical power, plus 10 magic power and 5 physical power. Now, the cooldown is the same, 240 seconds, and there's 2 camps located on each map, one to the right of each side. And last but not least, the mana buff. Now, this gives you plus 5 mana per second and a 10% cooldown reduction. And in Conquest, there are actually 4 camps located on each corner of the map. Okay, so now that we got those things out of the way, let's talk about the 2 major camps in Conquest: Gold Fury and Fire Giant. Now, these are located on the opposite side of each other. The respawn times on these are 300 seconds each. When killing the Gold Fury, you get 300 gold and 200 experience for you and your teammates. When killing the Fire Giant, you get 150 gold and 200 experience for you and your teammates, but you also get a buff. The buff gives you 70 magical power, 50 physical power, 4% regen, 2% mana regen, every 5 seconds, and 20% damage increase versus towers and Phoenix. Now, this can make or break your team, and this can win the game. When killing the Fire Giant, you're going to need your entire team there. You can solo it, but you need to be a little tanky, and you have to have really good damage. This can be late game buff, but you can also get it early game as soon as it spawns. Now, this is very hard to do, but it is possible. Lastly, we're going to talk about Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is a camp for only siege mode. It's located at the center of the map, and the respawn time, I would assume, is 300 seconds. It is actually not listed, but I would believe that it is the same as Fire Giant and Gold Fury. Now, this is a neutral monster at the middle of the map. When killing this, it spawns a siege minion in one of the 2 lanes, and this can also help your team a lot. Now, you're going to need at least 2 or 3 of your teammates. This is a very hard minion to kill, but it could benefit you greatly if you kill it early game or even late game. And that's really it. That's the camp's respawn times, what they do, and all you need to know now is your routes. Now, I'm going to be going over that and more stuff next week in the part 2 of this episode of Smite 101. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.